third with 14% support, and Texas Senator Ted Cruz is right behind with 13%. This is USA Headline News.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-479-2697. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-479-2697.
Robin Williams' widow says her late husband suffered from Lewy body dementia, a disease similar to Alzheimer's. Dr. James Galvin of Florida Atlantic University's medical school says Lewy body dementia is the second most common cause of Alzheimer's.
Lewy body dementia is the second most common cause of dementia after Alzheimer's disease. It's estimated to affect approximately 1.3 million Americans.
Dr. Galvin also says there's no evidence that having Lewy body dementia increases the risk of suicide. He adds the disease starts earlier than Alzheimer's, with the average patient in their late 60s to early 70s. It affects more than 1 million Americans. The primary symptoms include progressive change in memory, Parkinson-like features, and hallucinations.
Visual hallucinations, so seeing things that aren't there, typically little people or furry animals.
An Arizona woman is charged with child abuse after police discovered her and her 4 kids living in filthy conditions. Ted Houston has more.
Glendale police were sent to the home near 47th Avenue and Olive and found 5 children between the ages of 3 and 8 living in a house with piles of trash in every room, rotting food in the kitchen, bugs everywhere, no working toilet, and human and animal waste on the floors. According to court paperwork, 4 of the kids belonged to 27-year-old Jillian Wheeler, who also lived there. The kids and other adults told officers that for the past year, Wheeler has often locked the kids in their rooms for hours at a time, refusing to let them use the bathroom. So they just went on the floor. I'm Ted Houston.
I'm Joe Gomez, USA Headline News.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
Chronicling the latest cannabis industry news and headlines.
Well, with 4 states with tax and regulate and the District of Columbia.
The state of cannabis.
Oh my God, it's refreshing. We have people that generally wouldn't speak on behalf of cannabis for fear of retribution, fear of losing your practices, fear of many of those things, and find ourselves in a place that we finally can.
Bringing you fact-based news and views and keeping listeners on the pulse of what's happening in the industry today. The state of cannabis. On demand anytime, only on CannabisRadio.com.
USA Headline Sports, I'm Tammy Rose. Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen is done for the season after injuring a kidney while making a spectacular touchdown catch in a loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The Chargers placed Allen on season-ending injured reserve on Tuesday. They also released veteran receiver Jacoby Jones. Allen, who was second in the NFL with 67 catches on the season, was hurt on a 13-yard touchdown reception right before halftime in Sunday's 29-26 loss at Baltimore. At the time, the Chargers thought Allen had the wind knocked out of him. NASCAR seems to have sent a warning shot that it won't stand for any retaliation on the track. The organization has suspended Matt Kenseth 2 races for intentionally wrecking Joey Logano at Sunday's race in Martinsville in an act of retaliation that dramatically changed the lineup of drivers in the running for the championship. You're listening to USA Headline Sports.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-479-2697. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-479-2697. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-479-2697. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-479-2697.
Kyle Turris scored 34 seconds into overtime to lift the Ottawa Senators to a 2-1 victory over the Montreal Canadiens on Tuesday night. Turris, with his 8th goal of the season, finished a 2-on-1 with Mike Hoffman after a turnover in the Montreal end. It was the Canadiens' first experience with the new 3-on-3 overtime format. Major League Baseball will avoid having no black managers for the first time since 1988 after the Nationals hired Dusty Baker. The 66-year-old Baker has worked 20 seasons as a manager in the majors. He led the Giants to the 2002 World Series and reached the postseason a half dozen other times. He'll be the second oldest manager in MLB, a few weeks younger than the Mets' Terry Collins. For USA Headline Sports, I'm Tammy Rose.
Ignite the conversation on some trending topics along the Cannabis Radio social media network. Join our crew of thousands on our Cannabis Radio page on Facebook or at Canna Radio, CANNA Radio on Twitter. Plus, look for our Facebook.
This is the USA Radio Business Report. I'm Russ Jones. Federal regulators are hitting Japanese airbag maker Takata with the largest fine in the history of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. NHTSA Administrator Mark Rosekind announced the penalty.
Takata agrees to pay the largest civil penalty in NHTSA's history, $200 million. It must pay $70 million in cash and remaining amounts if it violates the terms of NHTSA orders.
Takata will have to phase out and recall all the defective airbag inflators that have been known to rupture. Officials are also accelerating recalls of the defective airbags.
It orders the 12 manufacturers that have issued Takata recalls to complete those recalls on an accelerated schedule and to prioritize vehicles based on risk.
More than 19 million vehicles in the U.S. have already been recalled over the issue. This is the USA Radio Business Report. I'm Russ Jones.
Ganjapreneur.com, your guide to the cannabis business world. Ganjapreneur.com is a comprehensive resource for cannabis professionals and entrepreneurs. Download the Ganjapreneur app on your smartphone or tablet to catch up on cannabis industry news, scroll through our daily job listings, and learn about successful cannabis companies, executives, and investors. Ganjapreneur.com, helping Ganjapreneurs grow.
About all things cannabis. This is CannabisRadio.com, a service of Cannabis Media. Stand by for another great hour of CannabisRadio.com. But first, let's get you informed with news around the world in 90 seconds.
This is USA Headline News. I'm Joe Gomez. U.S. intelligence officials reportedly believe an explosive brought down the Russian plane over Egypt last weekend. An official tells CNN that a bomb planted in a piece of luggage or somewhere else on the plane likely downed the jet, although no solid conclusions have been reached. The source says ISIS or an ISIS-linked affiliate is probably responsible. An ISIS-linked group has claimed responsibility for the crash that killed over 220 people. Authorities in Illinois say the shooting death of a police officer was a carefully staged suicide.
We have determined this staged suicide was the end result of extensive criminal acts that Glinowitz had been committing.
Lake County Major Crimes Task Force spokesperson George Filinko says an overwhelming amount of evidence shows Lieutenant Charles Joseph Glinowitz had been stealing and laundering money from the police department for the past 7 years. This is USA Headline News.
You
UK and US intelligence suggests the Russian jet that crashed in Egypt, killing all 224 people on board, may have been brought down by a bomb. British Prime Minister David Cameron will hold talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Thursday, just a day after the UK halted all flights into the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. And social media site Facebook has reported a spike in profits.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
Educator, author, and advocate Dr. Mitch Earlywine is here to tackle the burning issues.
And I'm here to clear up the myths about cannabis and burn them away with science.
CannabisRadio.com presents a no-holds-barred platform that seeks to redefine and revolutionize the entire scope of the cannabis culture while opening the door for more to join the cannabis crusade.
Dr. Kevin Hill.
You can't ignore the fact that, like alcohol, most people who use don't have a problem. So I think that you need to think about policy in that way while educating people properly about marijuana. I think that's the way to go.
Burning Issues, only on CannabisRadio.com. It's time once again to Hemp Present, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Sowing the seeds of cannabis and sounding the praise of our favorite plant. It's time to Hemp Present. Our radio resident hempo sapien Vivian McPeak will present a weekly platform for guests and listeners to Hemp Present about hemp and cannabis from the legal, activist, and reformist route. Let's round up and roll it up for our headmaster of hemp, Vivian McPeak.
Welcome to Hemp Present, the weekly radio show where you can get your PhD in THC because you don't just want to burn it, you want to learn it. Seeking to defeat prohibition one interview at a time and advocating for the plant, the whole plant, and nothing but the plant. Join me for a weekly reefer radio rebellion against prohibition as I speak with some of the principal risk takers, movers and shakers, and history makers of the cannabis industry, culture, and reform movement. I am your host, Vivian McPeak. I am the executive director of the world's largest annual cannabis policy reform event, the Seattle Hemp Fest, in its 24th year, found at hempfest.org. I'm also the author of the book Protestival, a 20-year retrospective of Seattle Hemp Fest from AHA Publishing. Transmitting from a fortified bunker under a ramshackle radio warren at an undisclosed location deep within the rumbling bowels of underground Seattle, my goal is to spread the green flame of 420 truth in 30-minute increments. Today's guest on Hemp Present is Dave Rines, Executive Director and founder of the Marijuana Business Association. But first, one great societal cost of prohibition has been a general lack of respect for the rule of law, which has cost lives on both sides. Many people, young and old, see the illogical and unjust nature of our pot laws, and that awareness contributes to a lack of respect for all of society's laws, the vast majority of which are sound, reasonable, and necessary to operate a society of this size and complexity. The introduction of low-level pot offenders to the criminal colleges of jails and prisons has helped to create criminals where there were none, the complete opposite of what a good criminal justice system is supposed to do. Once you get a felony, you're in the system, and a life of criminality may seem like the only practical solution to the stigma and obstacle of a conviction. Finding a job, housing, public assistance, student loans, and other activities could be severely impacted. After being released from incarceration, fines, fees, and attendance at drug, alcohol, 12-step, and or anger management classes may be required along with maintaining a job and housing. For many people just coming out of incarceration, those requirements can equal a recipe for failure. As Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, or LEAP founder Jack Cole says, you might be able to get over an addiction, but you can never get over a conviction. It's there for life. regardless of your level of rehabilitation. The racial inequities involved in the way prohibition has been enforced has created a disproportionately dark-skinned prison population. And for many years, prohibition has acted as a subtle form of voter suppression. Entire communities have seen a large portion of the mothers and fathers in their neighborhoods either incarcerated or left with felony convictions, leaving broken families, latchkey children, and lost opportunity.